in human life? What is the most valuable reality that is very much required for a human being, other than the physical sort of oxygen, for example, which is needed to breathe, to survive, and to live? There is something very similar which acts like, for example, one could say that perhaps like oxygen, but it is a spiritual reality. And what is that? Can anybody think of? Regardless of a person being a Muslim or a non-Muslim, this is something very much needed for him to subsist and survive. The Americans will say it's freedom. Huh? Well, even for that freedom, something is needed. And that is hope. Umeed. Hope is the phenomena that is the key of life. Even that freedom you're talking about, we have to have hope for freedom. Without hope, there is no freedom. So hope is that reality. Hope is that phenomena which makes the man, one would say, survive, one would say keep on going. Otherwise, if the hope is not there, he is depressed, he will do nothing. So he has to have that element of hope in him. Now this hope, regardless of a person being a non-Muslim or a Muslim, regardless of him being a Muslim or non-Muslim, he has to have that in him, so that he continue to live. Now, therefore, the value of everything is based upon what is the most valuable reality. Like hope is the most valuable thing, it is the most important thing. That becomes the most important thing. So everything is measured in according to its value. So the hope as a reality have the greatest value. It is valuable for man to survive, to continue, to really live his life. That becomes very valuable. Now you tell me, what is the most greatest reality that provides hope? What is it? What is it that provides hope? Now, when we look at the greatest provider of hope is no one but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So imagine what his value would be, right? So as Allah is the greatest provider of hope. First of all, hope itself. Then after that, you have that existence or that being that provides hope. That becomes valuable. Now it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if you look at, one might say that, oh, this is a religious talk. Even within the secular culture or a person who is a non-believer, whoever provides hope becomes the most valuable. Like for example, doctor. Doctor gives hope to the patient. And that's why this profession of being a doctor is very valuable, very respectable. What is he really doing? He's really providing hope. As he is providing hope, he becomes that. If you look at political leaders, for example, right? The leader comes and he provides hope to the state, to the community, to the people, and they vote for him. The more he provides hope, the more lovable he becomes, the more sort of popular he becomes, and he is elected by it, because he has given that hope. So whoever gives that hope becomes very valuable. Because hope is a phenomena, is a reality that is very unique, that is very special, that is something very much needed for an insan to survive, for an insan to live life. On the same token, as an insan provides that hope, becomes the most valuable, and as we have based this upon the very fact that God is the provider of hope, then he is the most valuable, obviously. And then we gave the example of a political leader or a doctor. At the same time, there are certain makanat, meaning that places, and there are certain zaman, that means time, the time and space, makan, provides hope to insan. Alaikum salam. For example, water is water. We use the water here in DFW, but at the same time somebody goes for ziyarat, for umrah, he brings you water of Zamzam. What is this water of Zamzam doing? This water of Zamzam is providing you umid, is providing you hope. Hope of shifa, hope of forgiveness, hope of health or whatever. Right? So as that water is provider of that hope, that becomes valuable. Or somebody goes for Karbala. He brings you the water of Furat, for example. That water is becoming the source of that hope, and because of that, it is becoming valuable. Same applies for the makan as well. There are certain makanat, there are certain places that tend to provide you hope. That tend to provide you hope. For example, the makan which is under the dome of the shrine of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, where the dua is accepted. This is too low, I think the volume is too low. So that's why I'm holding it near. Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So therefore, as it provides that makan with that hope, it becomes valuable. The same is the zaman, as we said. There are certain zamanat, meaning that there are certain times which becomes very valuable. Why? Because it is providing us hope. And Shab-e Qadr and the night of Qadr is that night, which is the night which full of umid, with full of ruju or raja, if you want to call, towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Full of hope. That zaman is providing us with that hope. It is, that is why it's Laylatul Qadr khayrum min alf shahr. How much hope that one night of ibadah is better than 1,000 and odd months, more than 1,000 months. How much hope this night is giving us. They say it's recommended to recite 1,000 times in Anzalna on the night of Qadr. But a mu'min is al-mu'min kayyis, very clever. Right? If a person recites on Turbat of Karbala on one tasbih, every beat of it is multiplied 100 times. Every beat of Turbat of Karbala multiplied 100 times. That Turbat, which is makan, is providing us hope. The zaman of the night of Qadr is providing us hope. So if we recite, alaykum salam wa rahmatullah, if we recite one tasbih of Surah Qadr on Turbat of Karbala, it will be multiplied so many times. Because this is the blessing of the month of Ramadan, the night of Qadr, and of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. So 1,000 times if we cannot recite Surah Qadr on the night of Qadr, at least we should recite one tasbih of Surah Qadr on Turbat of Karbala, on Turbat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Right? Salat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So therefore it is that night which is the night of hope. The night which gives us hope, and it becomes very valuable to God. It becomes very valuable to God. As we said, it is tonight where the muqaddarat, where everything is measured in regards to our risk, in regards to our age, in regards to what is supposed to unfold for us. It is salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. It is salam, it is peace, it is without any fault and limitation till the time of fajr, all night. There's the nuzul of the malaika wa ruh, and it is salam. Now the other things that becomes valuable, we said there's one thing that becomes valuable in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is that whatever provides hope, that whatever zaman provides hope, what about makan provides hope, And whatever wujud, an insan, as we said, doctor, we gave the example, or a political leader, we gave an example. And then here you place the Imam of Waqt, the Imam of our time, Hujjat ibn al-Hasan al-Askari, Sahib al-Zaman, where the hope of everything sits on him. All hope of all hope is the 12th Imam. The hope of all hope, the hope of Zahra, the hope of Quran, the hope of all humanity, the hope of every insan who is suffering is the 12th Imam. So it is a night which is becoming the unifying factor of hope of all hope, with the nuzul of the Quran, with the nuzul of the the muqaddarat. With whom? With the Imam of the time. Second point which I want to make. Whatever becomes the vehicle, the medium of unity, becomes valuable. Everything has a value, right? We want to be the most precious and valuable person, meaning that we achieve the best. We want the most valuable thing. Everything based on the value. Is on that qima, right? On that qima, everything is based on that. Now, we talked about hope, we talked about zaman and makan. Now, the other thing that becomes valuable is the thing through which or by which unity takes place. Things are unified. It is given a form. That's why you tend to see all of these who tend to, the peace brokers, those who tend to bring peace, those who tend to struggle, unify people, unify two nations who are fighting with each other, brings that unity. That person, that individual becomes very famous. The value for him, right? The peace ambassador who's uniting people. The same thing as we said, the leadership as well. The leader who tends to unite everybody becomes very valuable, right? That person. This applies for the zaman and makan and actions as well. An act that tends to unify people becomes very valuable. A lot of value for that act. Hajj, if you want to take it from a religious point of view, everybody gathers together. Everybody performing the same act. Everybody wearing the same clothes. Salat is also Salat al-Jamaat. Everybody is praying, everybody. But the way Hajj unifies is very different. Same clothing, same makan, same amal. In Salat, yes, we are unifying at the same time, at a particular. But Hajj is something else. Perhaps that's the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that a person who doesn't perform Hajj after having the istita'at, it is as if he has done kufr. Right? So that act is very valuable. That act itself, fi nafseh, the act of Hajj, performance of that. Why is it? Because it is reflecting unity and tawheed. That's what it is. The value of it is that tawheed. As it reflects that, it is valuable. Ziyarat Arba'in. With that power of unifying. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam himself, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Sunni, Sixers, 12ers, I don't know. Everybody is pulled towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Whoever have a little bit of insaniyat, humanity in him, he is pulled towards that. I know many Christian priests from England who have gone for ziyarat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They are Christian, but they are pulled towards it. It's that unifying factor is there in that man, in that personality, in that event of Arba'in. That's why so much of recommendation for Ziyarat Arba'in, right? Because it has that power. It kind of unite everybody. It is as if a person is visiting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala near the arsh, Ziyarat Arba'in. Because reflection of unity, reflection of Tawheed, because God is one, whatever reflects one becomes valuable. Whoever is trying to bring about unity, because that unity will reflect that oneness of God, that reflect the Tawheed, that becomes valuable. Qiyamat, Yawmuddin, the day of judgment, it reflects. Tell me this, is dunya more valuable or is the day of judgment more valuable? Day of judgment. Right? Because on the day of judgment, what is reflected? Nothing but the will of God is reflected. The command of God is reflected. The reality of God is reflected. In dunya as well it is reflected, but the clarity that exists on the day of judgment is puja where, and in the dunya where, for example. Right? That's why the day of judgment is very powerful, very valuable. Right? Not only for all of us who are really waiting for that, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the eyes of God as well. So now, the night of Qadr tend to have that element of day of judgment. It is reflecting the Qiyamah. Everything is measured. Everything is decided. Our future destiny is decided. Everybody is standing in ranks in the saf. The malaika will come and stand in ranks. The malaika will descend. The angels will descend. The arwah will descend. Everybody will be judged. Everything will be decided. In Shab Qadr, this Shab Qadr is not only muqaddarat for you and I, but this Shab Qadr is also muqaddarat for the arwah as well. Is also taqdeer for those malaika as well. Shab Qadr for everything, for every created thing by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is Shab Qadr for that. For all of Ajinna is Shab Qadr. For all of malaika is Shab Qadr. Is for that malaika, for that ruh it is Shab Qadr as well. Because it is reflecting that Tawheed. It is reflecting that day of judgment where things are being united. Right? So it is that night. That's why it says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. The more a person contemplate, try to think about this night, one is really fascinated and shocked. This nuzul of malaika, the nuzul, the descent of angels, the descent of ruh. What is ruh? How can that really take place in this limited earth? How can that it really contain that ruh? When it says Tanazzalul malaikatu wa ruh, how does that take place? When all of this amr, I say, I think fiha yufraqu kullu amrin hakim. All amr, all command. It is partake from the Lord. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِنْدَنَا خَزَائِنٌ. As Allah says, near us there is khazain and treasures. And from this we descend, nuzul of it, بِقَدْرِ مَعْلُومٍ. What is ma'loom, what is destined, that's what it is revealed. But how can that happen? You have this small mirror. This small mirror, you want to look at all of your 6 feet body. So this small earth, this small existence, but nuzul of malaike, nuzul of ruh is taking place. It is a miracle. It is really fascinating. And you and I have to really grasp barakah and blessing, malaike and one ruh. By tawajjuh, by focusing towards, by connecting to God, by connecting to the awliya, to insan hai kamil. That's why we take the names of the Masumin alayhi salam. Because he is that Nuqta. He is that point where all of these nuzul malaikatu war ruh and the muqaddarat is gone past through him. What the Imam goes through tonight, only Khuda mein dune. वाक़ान सिर्फ अल्लाह ही बेहतर जानता है कि शब कदर की रात क़ल्ब इमाम में ज़मान किस हालत में. हर इंसान की तकदीर, चाहे वो मुसलमान हो गैर मुसलमान, इमाम ज़माना के क़ल्ब पे नाजिल हो रही है. चखत संगीन, कितना हैवी टास्क है for that insan to take place. What sort of art the Imam have? I mean, for us to really understand when in the physical sense it is possible to download so many things on a chip physically, for example, how can it not be possible for a heart, such a heart of an Imam, which is the reflection of that throne, for to contain everything? Makes sense. It is possible, right? So therefore, it is that night. It is that night of Qadr. Very important night. We have to really prepare ourselves. A brother reminded me last night to remind you all of one of the important amal of tonight is ghusl, making ghusl. Perhaps those who have performed it and came here, well and good, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. Those who have not performed, when they go back home, they will be going back home. Obviously, they are not here till Fajr. We have only 5 or 6 or 7 people till Fajr, because you guys are working and have busy and tired and all that. It makes sense. I'm not complaining, but what I'm trying to say here is that as you go back and you still have time before Fajr, you can do ghusl. When you go back home, make sure that you carry out this act. It doesn't take a shower 5-10 minutes. Even if you have to go back, it's better not to sleep tonight. But even if you have to, you have work, so on and so forth, it will affect. If you are, take a shower and go to sleep. Or for Sahri, you will wake up anyways, take a shower. So it's one of the recommended act one should really perform. So it is a night where one prepares oneself, where purify oneself, where one cleans one's body, which is very symbolic, to clean one's soul, where one does astaghfar, where supplicates and connects to God. What do we really have to really give to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tonight? Have we really brought anything? Can we really say that, okay, this is what I have got, oh Allah? We have nothing. We have nothing. What we have brought is perhaps our sins itself. As in Munajat Shabaniya, Amirul Mu'mineen says that oh Allah, my sins are the source of tawassul to you. I'm using my sins itself in order through that which I'm doing tawassul. A person does tawassul with what? Things which are valuable, which are great, that one connects to God. But Hazrat Amir is saying that even the sins that I have, this itself is tawassul. What have we really brought? In Makarim al-Akhlaq we recite. And what we have, what do we really have, what we have really done in order that we deserve the forgiveness of God. In आतिशी के माँ रोशन कर दीम, गैर अज़ इन आतिश के रोशन कर दीम, चीज़ी ना दारीम, या आवरदीम पीछे खुदा. This fire that we have lit with our own actions, this is what we got. And who is going to put off this fire? It is no one but Allah who have the power to put this fire off. Waqt qabooliye dua hast, the time of acceptance of dua, as the Prophet says in Khutbah Shabaniya, the hours of prayers are the acceptance of duas. Raise your hands in prayer, duas. Seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when the azan is recited. It is the eve of Shab Qadr. the Maghrib of Shab Qadr. Brothers and sisters, let's make that connection. Let's connect to God. Make sure that we refrain from vain talks tonight. Make sure that we dedicate ourselves one night to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here. Make sure that when you go outside, force yourself back in. Don't hang around there. It's not worth. Shab Qadr will not come again. Only tonight. Don't hang around there. Come back, sit here, recite Quran, do dua. Be kind to everyone. Take care of everyone. Do not be rude. But it's only one night of Shab Qadr that we have. We are unaware what will happen next year. This is the night of Qadr. Make sure that we do the best. We make the best out of this night. We make the best out of this night. We should not lose this opportunity. This night of Qadr that is given to us. We thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Something could have happened. Many people are ill. They are in the hospital. They are eager for it, to be here. They are here with us in our du'as. Their intentions are there. But physically they also want to be. But they are not. But Allah have given us this opportunity. Allah somehow brought us, pushed us here and brought us here. We are here now. Something happened that He has brought us here. Something could have happened. Many of us got stuck. Didn't we get stuck in the traffic? We got delayed, right? Something could have happened, right? So Allah is the one who have brought us here. So inshallah, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our du'as and ibadat of tonight and forgive all our marhumin, inshallah. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa alayhi tahirin.